Hi, welcome to Nickwit. We're on episode 9. You guys know the drill by now. This episode, we're talking about online recipes and why they suck. If you don't know what I'm talking about, you've probably seen them on Facebook or other social media platforms like Pinterest. They're usually a quick 1 or 2 minute video with some shitty background music and teaches you no technique whatsoever. Yep, that's exactly what I'm talking about. A steaming pile of garbage that they call a recipe. Now let's hear some commentary from an actual chef explaining everything that's wrong with this recipe.
If you cut it into rings like this, it will be harsher tasting because you'll broken up more of the cells 20 or 30 minutes before we're going to start seasoning it. There is no flour in this recipe when it is properly made. One of the mistakes I see people making is to start putting sherry and vinegar and other ingredients in it at this point. You add those at the end.
So one of the problems that I have with videos like this is they're not actually teaching you how to make something properly. What we saw in that video was the onions were cut improperly. You don't have flour in French onion soup. Most of the ingredients were added way too early and it wasn't cooked long enough. This recipe isn't showing you French onion soup, it's showing you soup that has onions in it. Surely the people in the comment section know what I'm talking about and would agree with me. Yummy! It's good for lunch! Chicken soup. Chicken soup. Good idea. I'll try did with cherry tomatoes, goet cheese, rosemary, thyme, splash vinegar, balsamic, olive oil. I've got a better idea that is not only cheaper, I'd enjoy more. Stir in a little stupid comment mixed with an entirely different recipe and blend on high until you have your own YouTube channel while whisking in a terrible idea and simmering on low until disgusting. Best recipes ever. Oh look, there's a Twitter for it. Here's your 20-minute chicken chili recipe. You can't cook chili in 20 minutes. My wife made this recipe even after I told her you can't cook chili for 20 minutes. It needs to simmer to develop flavor, but she also crapped out a baby in 3 weeks instead of 9 months, and he didn't come out like a garbage pail kid, which is how I describe this recipe. Silent cooking. This guy's not going to talk at all? Oh, yes. Sprinkle your grandfather's ashes on the chicken. Chicken soup. Some of the more popular online recipes you can find involve meal planning. Meal prep. No, it's meal planning. Meal prep, I fucking knew it. Meal planning, or meal prep, is the idea of making a large batch of food with a very bland recipe, eating about 2 of those meals and then throwing 7 away. It's supposed to save a lot of time and money, but literally no human being alive eats the same goddamn meal 14 days in a row. Oh, there's that sweet Kenny G music again. Who the fuck bakes eggs? Okay, do I freeze these or refrigerate them? What's the music called? The music is really nice. Shouldn't meal prep be halathy? Meat, meat, meat. The eggs are a lovely touch and a great breakfast idea, but the only things I would change is salting the eggs, adding more kangaroo meat, grilling a pizza oven large enough to fit a small child instead of baking, separate the yolk into a bowl and eat raw, changing all the ingredients and sever a finger for a more natural human taste. Another thing that makes online recipes so terrible are the stories that people feel they need to tell before they even get to the goddamn recipe. You have to scroll through pages of just useless information to get the one thing that you came to that site for. It was just past dusk when my computer monitor became a flitter with life, and the idea of cooked fish wafted through my olfactory gland swifter than marmalade through a glass vase. As the mouse wheel scrolled through the confines of confectionery, my mind became overwhelmed by the description of the cooked fish I had envisioned in my mind. An epiphany awoke from within me as my eyes cleared pages of text, and my heartbeat slowed as the exotic thought of salmon and lemon marrying in a hot pan aroused the most animalistic tendencies I did not know I possessed. The recipe was not the climax in the Shakespearean play, but rather the resolution as my wrinkles became deep canyons and hair turned gray as charcoal ash. I knew I had found the one true recipe.